Should we get started? These sessions go super duper fast, and I think I got it done.
Yeah, what do they call that? Every day has to be
Okay, let's go ahead and get started because I have no idea how long this is going to take. The last one was a little bit speedy, and I've never used this tool before, so this could go super sideways.
Awesome.
All right, here we go. Technology at work. We'll see if this works. Yeah. Okay. Check this out.
Yeah. Good job.
There we go.
Awesome.
Boom. Right? Little digital media, little video. We're moving mountains. Okay, there's the plug. So here's my deal. This is what we're going to do. Facebook sucks. If you've been to either of my previous little chit chats, you already know how I feel about Facebook. I dislike it. I feel like it's intrusive. I feel like it's just more or less, I want to say figuratively, but maybe literally sucking my soul out a bit, right? And it's collecting it and putting it in a thing. But you should use it anyway. Because it's the most powerful marketing tool, and this sounds like hyperbole, but it's not. It's the most powerful marketing tool that has ever been in the world, and I'm going to tell you why. You know what else sucks? PowerPoint presentations. I hate PowerPoint presentations. They're distracting, right? Because you're trying to take notes. You know you're supposed to look up here because I got flashy stuff, but am I saying anything actually important? You don't know because there's too many things going on. Did you know that we can't really multitask? That's actually a myth. And so you're just changing your focus with this stuff. They're a crutch. I'm doing this so you won't pay attention to the fact that I suck. I'm really terrible at doing this. So please pay attention to the screen. And I feel like a big fat jerk for sitting and making you sit through a PowerPoint presentation because I hate them. I know that they're boring, and I know that there's not likely any value that's coming out of it. Get that? All right. PowerPoint was supposed to make life better, but it really hasn't. It's just caused us to have even less of an attention span. It's divided us up to bring us closer, to help us share with people who want to pay attention, just like Facebook. Facebook is hugely a white noise platform. If you think about your desktop and you're looking at Facebook, you've got like 5 columns going on. And in every 5 columns, you've got like 25 boxes all going on. And I guarantee you that if you access it on your phone, you're flipping like this. And you're scrolling as fast as you can, right? To get to something that's even moderately interesting. Maybe a cat, or grandma, or a vacation that you're jealous of, right?
Or the really tan guy.
Or the tan guy. The tan guy. This next slide is probably the only thing you remember. Memes. It's all been reduced, right? Facebook was supposed to help us keep in touch, to bring us together. The Facebook was meant to make sure that friends could stay in touch with friends. Now this is what we do with it. We say funny little jokes and we hope to get a chuckle and get a bunch of likes on our posts. Facebook is just like PowerPoint. It's a distraction for, this is the newest statistic after September, 1.71 billion people using Facebook every month. Okay? Do you know how many people that is? That's a lot of freaking people. So that's over 1 billion people, if you're doing the math. 1.13 billion Facebook users every single day. They're on Facebook every single day. This is a graph you won't recall tomorrow, but check it out right here. I'm going to use the fancy thing right here. This is the United States. In 2016, 60% of the entire U.S. population is using Facebook at least monthly. 71% of, I am two-fisted. 71% of online American adults are using Facebook. 71% of adults in the United States are using Facebook. So this story that we tell ourselves sometimes, this myth that sometimes pop up that, oh, Facebook's kind of old news, everyone's migrating to Snapchat, or my own experience, well, I don't use Facebook, so no one uses it, right? Well, no, that's not really how it works. That's me being a narcissist. 71% of people are using Facebook. And it's not just for kids. I hear this all the time. Well, you know, the people that I'm trying to reach, they're over 21. Well, guess what? 31% of all Facebook users, of all seniors, are Facebook users, right? That's a lot of old people. And they're on it, and they're just as savvy as you can imagine. So Facebook has become a crutch. And here's how I know it. I'm going to prove it to you right now. Do you have a smartphone? Who has a smartphone? Anybody have a smartphone? A couple of you? Okay, well, check this out. On average, you, with a smartphone, check your Facebook 13.8 times every single day. Right? And each time you do it, you're on there for 2 minutes and 22 seconds. That's 200 hours of your life you could have been given to charity or doing some other good work. But you're looking at yourself on Facebook. 1 of every 5 minutes on mobile is Facebook. Did you know that? 1 of every 5 minutes on mobile is spent in Facebook. You can't live without Facebook, and your clients can't either. Okay? That's just reality. I didn't make those up. I was tempted, but I didn't. Facebook is accessed more than email. And I don't know this to be true. I'm not a realtor guy. But my guess is that a lot of you are leaning on email lists. Is this true? No, sorry, MailChimp. Facebook is used more than email. Okay? So when you're trying to reach all those people via email, they're on their phones looking at Facebook, not checking their emails. To review, Facebook sucks. Your time and your attention, right? We all agree on that. Okay. It's also sucking your data, right? Every single thing that you do is being collected, which is why you need to use this. Welcome to 1984. Prepare to get creeped out right now. Okay. Every time a Facebook member likes a post, tags a photo, updates their favorite movies in their profile, posts a comment about a politician, changes their relationship status, Facebook logs it. When they browse the web, Facebook collects information about the pages they visit. Do you know that? It's not just Facebook. They're following you. You know how I know that? Because I use this tool. I follow you. I already talked to a couple people this morning and say, hey, your Facebook ads are like stalking. That's right. About pages they visit that contains fake, blah, 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 blah. They use Instagram, WhatsApp, and they spent $1.5 billion or more on WhatsApp just for that data. On the phone, which is owned by Facebook, blah, 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 blah. It's a lot, right? Check this out. Facebook buys data about its users' mortgages, car ownership, shopping habits from the biggest brokers. Even worse, facial recognition. Facebook recognizes your face just as much as mom does. Right? That's how powerful it is. It's called Beat Face for a reason. That's why the tagging is so important. Every time you get tagged, it's taking a map of your face, and Facebook knows you. Check this out. Facebook knows the number of credit lines you have, whether you're an investor, what you invest in, whether you carry a balance, or whether you carry cut coupons. Here's all the data points. 98. That's a lot of data points. It's collecting everything about you. And in fact, there are statistics and studies that say, hey, you know what? Facebook knows what's going to happen to you before you do. Facebook knows what your life is about to happen. If they would tell us, we could avoid a lot of problems. Facebook is how do I go back? Dang it, can I do it? Yeah, check it out. If you have Facebook on your phone, this is real, this is not conspiracy theory stuff. If you've got Facebook on your phone and you haven't swiped it closed, and even if you have in some cases, Facebook is listening via our mics. Have you ever had this experience, and I know a lot of you have, where you talked about something very specific and 2 days later it was in your timeline as an ad? Have you had this experience? I have, right? Pay attention to that. Facebook is listening right now and tracking what we're talking about because it wants to be relevant. It wants me to want ads, and it does a damn good job of it, right? I actually like the ads that I get, right? I'm like, thank you, Facebook, for advertising me. So here's a scenario. This is why all of this is relevant to you, okay? Scenario, open house. You've got an open house coming up. How do I use Facebook to reach the right audience? I don't want just a bunch of Joe Blows and tweakers to show up trying to raid the plastic wax fruit on my table. I want real people who are going to come and actually maybe be a prospect. So I did a little research myself. Again, I'm not a realtor, but the California Association of Realtors outlines the demographic of a first-time home buyer. It looks like this. She's female. She's about 31. She makes over 100 grand. She's married. She's college educated, right? So we're starting with some very basic information. This is what we think we know about our ideal prospect.
No, she makes 40 grand here.
Okay. So this is where like all the note taking needs to start right here.
Okay.
Audience insights. This is the first place you're going to visit, right? You knew about it. Audience insights. This is where we're going to use our demographic information in Facebook to start profiling and building our ads. This is the interface that you're going to start with. So I took that demographic information, and right on the side over here, I just put in a couple of areas that I wanted to draw from. I know I want my client from Ashland, Grants Pass, or Medford. So I'm looking for this person. And Facebook says, okay, well, there's about 150,000 people that are in that area right now. Killer. Okay. And it breaks down some age and gender for us. But I go, you know what? Not only that, but I really want them all women, because I know that my first-time home buyer is a woman. So now I'm looking at women that are living in Ashland, Grants Pass, or Medford. I'm running through this super quickly, but I have to reiterate, this is very, very easy. You can do this in probably 10 minutes on your own, so it's not complex. Then I said, hey, I know my age range. She's about 31, so I'm going to create a little window right here that's going to give me the age range. We're down to about 1,500 people who are women who are between 25 and 34 living in the Rogue Valley. I know that she's got to make over 100,000, but I also know the Rogue Valley. So I added a couple of extra check boxes right here. She's married, right? That was part of it. And she's got at least a college education. These are check boxes and drop-down menus right on Facebook. And Facebook knows, because we just talked about how they're creeping on us all the time, right? Even when we're not on Facebook, Facebook's tracking us. The holy grail of demographics for real estate agents, likely to move. So now I've said, okay, I want a first-time home buyer to visit my open house. And I know that she needs to be 31, and I know she needs to make $100 grand, I know she needs to be married, and I know she needs to have college. And I know, or I want to know, that she's looking to move. It's a drop-down menu in Facebook. You just have to fill in the bubble. Then all I have to do is say, hey, can you just make an ad for me, Facebook, with that audience in mind? Killer. Push the button. And I want to raise attendance at my event, my open house. So I just push the button. Cool. And I even named it something clever. Medford Open House. Here's the summary. Look, here's what we have. We've got all of our areas. We got our age range. We got our finances, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. You're going to see this a lot, and don't be frightened by it. Facebook is saying, wow, this is really specific. Don't you want to open up that spigot a little more? That's code for, don't you want to spend some more money on people that aren't likely to come and buy your product or service? Because what we've done is we've made a very, very specific audience, right? We're only going to reach this amount of people potentially each day, but who cares? They're the right audience. This is very important because you're not going to waste a penny of your marketing budget on the wrong audience. This is all about efficiencies. Placements. This is where they're physically going to get placed, the ads. You can kind of do what you want to do. You can say, oh, I only want the feeds in the right column on Instagram. This audience network, creepy AF, because that is... but this is like the network of partners that they have across the entire interwebs, right? They're placing ads on these other software companies, apps, websites, and when I place an ad, I have access to this audience network. I can make sure that my ad gets distributed through all of their partners. I can decide if I'm an iPhone hater, yeah, screw them, I only want to do BlackBerries. You can do that right here, okay? Or if you want to just let Facebook do it for you, which I recommend, and they do too, just let them do it for you. They'll pick the right placement. Yes, sir.
What do you guys know about placement and how it affects BlackBerries or whatever?
That's a good question. That's a really deep question. We can have a long technical talk about it. There are a lot of different opinions about which placements are the most effective. And I've heard every argument conceivable, pros and cons for both. This is what I'll say. We know that demographically speaking, Instagram is a different beast than Facebook. So based on who we're trying to hit, I would either opt out of Instagram or not. For a 31-year-old woman, I'm definitely using Instagram. Okay? Audience network, sometimes totally inappropriate based on what your product is. For example, if I'm trying to peddle a certain very specific niche product where I know I need to reach a very specific target audience, I'm not going to do this. This is great for brand awareness, broad strokes, because you're going to hit a lot of people. And then right column, let me tell you why right column's super important these days. In the last month or so, Facebook adjusted their algorithm to give you more kiddies and grandmas, right? So what happened was as marketers, we used to have great access to the timeline, which was where the real money was. You want to get on the timeline and the feeds. But now we've been pushed out to the side, so there's a premium on this right column. Moreover, as you probably know, if you're on a desktop, this right column stuff is persistent. As you scroll through your timeline, this sticks. So there's pros and cons to each of the placements, and you can either let Facebook optimize that for you, or you can do it yourself if you're smart.
Do you pay for those ads based on just having it up there, or does somebody have to click on it?
Well, that's a whole nother factor, and it's right here. So, daily budgets. You set your budget. You can do daily, or you can do lifetime. You can schedule an in and an out, or you can just say, I want to spend $10 a day. You can set continuously.
Do you know what the difference on cost-wise for lifetime to get right?
There's no difference. Facebook sees it the same, but you may opt for one or the other so you can better manage your budget. I like daily because I'm never spending out more than I want. If I go lifetime and I'm not careful, I can spend out my budget like that. I've never given them a budget. They can parse it out over time or spend it in one great chunk. And I like more control. I'm being retentive that way. So that's how I recommend it. You can set your dates. You can run it permanently. They'll give you an estimate on how much you're going to spend. Do note, this will fluctuate. They don't get this number right all the time. It's an estimate. This is that question that you asked back here. How do I want to pay? What do I want to pay for? Do I want to pay for impressions? Do I want to pay for clicks? Do I want to pay for reach? And it's all up to you. Be advised that sometimes it will not give you the option. Sometimes based on the optimization category that you've chosen, it is what it is. You're paying for impressions whether you like it or not. So you're going to have different ways to optimize for ad delivery, engagement, reach, impressions, a bid amount. You can actually have them auto bid for you, and Facebook will say, hey, we're going to get you the best, most engaged, appropriate user at the best price. Please trust us to do that. Or you can say, you know what, I never want to pay more than 50 cents for a click, or whatever the thing is, and you can set that manually. When you get charged, you can say, hey, I want to get charged periodically. You can schedule a day part, meaning that, hey, I don't want my ads to run at 2 o'clock in the morning. In fact, I want to make sure that this open house that's on a Saturday, I just want to run it on Fridays for the next 3 months, whatever your thing is. You can say when and where it's going to be placed, and then this throughout the day where you can dictate where it goes. Now,
So are those costs in addition to the $10?
Nope. Nope. Those are just all of the details, because if you were to do the math on all of the variations that Facebook optimizes for, it's something in the tens of thousands of variations. They've done a very good job at being specific about how they use their money. In fact, they break it down and they can go, okay, well, we'll optimize for traffic to your website, or we'll optimize for conversions on your website, or we'll optimize for a specific page, or we'll optimize for how long we think we're going to be on their website so that you can have exactly what you want and spend your money in hopefully the wisest way you can. Now we're just going to build an ad. And Facebook, as their one, they make it super simple. You can do single images, you can do slideshows, these can also be a carousel, you've seen those I'm sure, or you can do a video. We spend a lot of time today talking about videos and the values thereof. If you've got a drone flying through your property, you're doing an open house that you're recording, you've done all of this stuff, now you can repurpose that very same video as an ad. And if you believe Facebook, they'll tell you that this is probably the most effective type of advertising there is. If you don't have any of that thing, all that stuff, you can just use these free stock images, which is what I did. I said, hey, Facebook, give me some open house pictures. Pop, pop, pop. I chose a few of them, right? This auto-populates. There's no magic to it. And then I just built it out based on one of our clients, and
This car's automatic.
and so I just built out this quick ad, right? And boom, boom, boom. And see this right here? For those of you who ever want to go deeper on this whole ad thing, you can talk to me about this pixel. That's the equivalent, that's Facebook's equivalent of a cookie that I drop on all of our clients' websites, and that cookie tracks you everywhere you go. Thank you. You're welcome. And there's the ad, and so on and so forth. And then this is just an example of what those ads might look like. I want to point out, we've been running this ad for just a little bit, but look at this number right here. Okay? We ran this ad in Grants Pass. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Grants Pass, but there's only about that many people in it, right? So when we want to get our message out, when we want to make sure that everybody who's got eyeballs is going to see our ad, we know that we can do it. Yeah, Scott.
What does reach mean? It appeared on the page, or there was...
These are two different numbers, so I'll show you. So 38,000 people reached. This is 38,000 people had the opportunity to watch the video. So 38,000 people, it was on their timeline, they flipped right by it. They didn't engage with it. Or it was on the right-hand column, wherever they bumped into it. This is actual views. Now you have to be careful with this number, right? Because in this truncated version, we don't know how that breaks down. And Facebook has 3 or 4 different columns for views. And they recently got in trouble for it, and they've since righted the ship. But Facebook will break it down to 100%, 50%, 10 seconds, 3 seconds. So we wouldn't know what this means exactly until we got back into the reporting, which we have access to.
And that's likely repeat views as well, right? If you talk twice, that would double it up.
They say these are unique views. I don't know. I mean, you know how I feel about Facebook.
But Facebook also automatically starts playing the video in your feed. If it's in the feed, it will just, so wouldn't that count as a view too?
Only if
Automatically
the bare minimum that this will register is 3 seconds. So you know that at least it sat in that window for 3 seconds for someone to make a determination whether to go farther on it. Any questions on that piece? Warning. Caution. Achtung. Facebook also sucks your money. And then this piece is kind of controversial because I hear a lot of, I'm definitely gonna offend somebody right now. If you want to waste your money, I'm gonna show you how. If you want to waste your money, boost your posts. Okay? Just keep doing it. It's a great way to absolutely waste your money. And if you're anything like me, you've got lots and lots to burn. And you just love burning it up and feeding the beast. Boosting posts is perfect for the ignorant. I know this because I'm largely ignorant. And I did not know better for a long, long time. Boosting posts is so convenient. It preys on my need for convenience and immediate gratification. And so I just go, oh, right on, thanks, Facebook. I'm going to boost that post and the whole world's going to see it and it's going to be a perfect advertisement. Doesn't really work that way. So if you're boosting posts, please consider not and doing the things that we just talked about, because your marketing dollar is precious money and you have complete control over how you're going to spend it, on whom you're going to spend it. You do not have those tools when you're boosting posts. Like you mentioned, you've got some basic optimization stuff going on. You can narrow it a little bit, but not to the degree that we really want if we want to be good stewards of our precious resources. Boosting posts is also perfect for the lazy. Also me. I know this because sometimes I'm just too lazy to go and do the work, to get behind there and take the 15 minutes that it takes to create ads that better spends my money. So please, you're going to hear a lot of different opinions about this. And there are going to be a lot of people that say, hey, you know what? Boosting posts is great. So there's a caveat to this. Boosting posts can be somewhat effective at reaching people who are already your fans. People that are already part of your tribe on your Facebook page. because as we talked about earlier, 2.5 people of your 100 are seeing your content. If you want to open that spigot up a little bit more and make sure that other people get your message, you can boost a post, and that's going to help you reach more people on your page. Does this make sense? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is there cost in boosting too?
It's going to suck your money just like building an ad, only you're leaving everything up to Facebook. It's like, yeah, just trust us with your money. Yeah.
One thing that I could just ask question just so you can clarify. Boosted posts, that's when you see the little bubble and you say, I want to boost this one post.
Yeah.
And then what we're talking about here is actually going into something called the ad manager and building out ads, is that correct?
Yes, so what that whole process that we walked through was getting the ad manager, building ads, and making sure that we're spending our dollar wisely. This is that convenient button. Hey, this is a good looking post. Wouldn't you like to spend money on it? And we go, oh, you're right. I'm really good at this post making stuff. I want the world to see it. Let me throw $20 at it. And so you just feed the beast, and your return, your ROI on it is not what it could be or should be. Okay? So that's tough. That's my tough loves. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, kids. I'm not the sharpest tack. I admit it freely. I've got a lot of shortcomings, and smart's one of them. But I got a little bit. As of September 2015, the first step taken during the home buying process, you probably know this better than me. This is just me, like being a rookie and coming in and trying to understand what all you crazy people are doing. But I found this. 43% as the first step looked online for properties first. It was the first thing they did, and 15% contacted a real estate agent. So as I'm thinking it through, and like I said, I'm not really the sharpest guy, but it feels to me like this is a wasted opportunity if you're not taking advantage of the 1.71 billion people who are already captive audience that you can slice and dice ad infinitum to find the right person to come to your open house or do your sale or build your tribe, build your reputation, or what have you. Does that make sense? In summary, Facebook sucks. Use it anyway. Q&A. Moving mountains. All right. Catherine.
How does spending money on ads play into rankings and recommendations
Okay.
for your business?
It's
Or does it?
it
I'm
does.
sure they're all
It does, and it's going to get technical, but I can sum it up. Travis and Tim can probably sum it up even better. But I'm going to say that Google uses social buzz, and that's pretty much the technical term I think they use, social buzz, to influence rankings. So the more traffic you have, the more times you're shared, the more views you have, all of that stuff, even if it's incremental, is contributing to how you rank on Google. Do you have things to add to that?
That's perfect definition.
Okay. So it is important because Google's listening as much as Facebook is.
How does that intersect with the actual recommendation stuff you were talking about earlier that where Facebook is sort of pushing out Yelp, does the ads affect that as well?
As far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, the ads do not influence your ranking. All of that ranking is supposed to be authentic based on recommendations, based on real world engagement with real people. That's how Facebook is going to hang their hat. Hey, look we know all these people, we asked them, this isn't us exercising our influence or taking money for it. These are real 5-star reviews. These are real recommendations, and you should trust these reviews. That's why you should trust Facebook services more than Yelp, because we know that it's usury and everyone's being taken advantage of over on Yelp, would be the message.
How long does buzz last for your ranking? I mean, if you have a lot of buzz and you have a high ranking, how long do you
Get benefit from it?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a great question to you.
not long?
My suspicion is exactly what you said, is that it's not long, and the longer you can sustain that buzz, the more a domain authority your website is likely to experience, and that's a harder sticking number. So I'm kind of making stuff up right now, but this is the way I think it works.
Why content's so important.
Content. That's absolutely. We spend a lot of time with content to make sure that we, for example, I'll give you a content loop. You have a website, you have a blog, or you're posting your pictures of your new property. You immediately take that content and you use it. You don't just leave it there to hang out to dry, but you take that content and you link it to all your social profiles, and you're leveraging the power of a networked group of distribution points. points. Your website very much serves as a hub, and all your social channels are spokes, and it feeds into this thing that Google then can interpret as, wow, this guy's kind of a badass. I'm gonna, let's get him up there right now. Okay.
There's over 250 different unique factors in Google that Google takes into account and says, that's gonna adjust your rankings, and social is one of them. Social traffic is one of them.
Any other questions? We've got 4 minutes, and I'd love to entertain whatever questions you have. I hope that I didn't go too quickly. I know it was a lot of information. Again, I'm happy to share it with you. Yeah.
Is there a way to sort of track metrics when you, let's say you buy an ad? Is there a way to kind of know what people are doing with it?
Oh, yeah. And I didn't even get to touch on it, but I worked in media for a long time. And one of the challenges has always been, like, how do you demonstrate an ROI with traditional media? How do you demonstrate ROI on that billboard, for example, right? Well, Facebook has really, really answered that question. And for all those ads that you see, there are scores of metrics about who engaged, who's reached, demographic profile. You're gonna know everything. And you can say, hour by hour, well, this sucks, this didn't work at all, kill it, don't waste any more of my money. Or you can go, okay, this seems to be working, I think I found my audience, let's scale. And we're gonna put more money on the fire. So it's in real time, more or less, there's a caveat there, but in quasi real time, you can learn how your ad is performing, and you can make the appropriate adjustments. There are plenty of tools out there that also let you do split testing. So when we create ads, we don't just create an ad. We create sometimes hundreds of iterations of the same ad. And we watch the performance of each one of those for like split testing, A/B testing, and we will just murder them. We'll kill our darlings as we go through. Say, oh, this one's underperforming. So over time, we've developed the perfect ad. And there's something called a relevance score that Facebook uses to tell you, it's trying to assist you. Did you do it well? And it's a score between 1 and 10. And if you did it really, really terribly, poorly, you get a 1. And if you nailed it, you hit a home run, they'll give you a 10. And that's important because that's Facebook saying, you know what, we give you a 10, you nailed the relevance, we're gonna make your ads cheaper. Because we know that we're not gonna irritate our sensitive user base, right? If you're going to continue to pay for an ad that's underperforming, Facebook's gonna stick it to you, right? Like, okay, you wanna throw money at us, we're not gonna turn off the gravy train, but we are gonna, in fact, charge you more to keep running that obnoxious ad. Caleb.
If you're wanting to reach people with your Facebook content that don't live here, and you want to get a very specific geographic area, not just like, hey, anybody considering moving to
Yeah.
Oregon, but I want to go after this area, what would you do? How
Dude,
would you recommend that?
one of the most powerful options that you have is geographic with Facebook targeting. So not only can you pick a city, a specific city, you can pick a zip code. You can get right down to a zip code, just like a direct mailer, right? And say, I only want 31-year-old females with college degrees from Boulder, Colorado in the 06 zip code.
Can you say, I want, is there enough data in Facebook to say I want people who are possibly considering retirement, and they were in this industry, like a tech industry or something, right?
Yeah.
Get that honed in and
There's even variation on that. There's, we're probably out of time, but there's interest. So you could be interested in dental cosmetics, cosmetic dentistry, or that can be an employer, or that can be an actual job title. So you can parse it out that way. Then there's life events. I'm retiring. I have a birthday. I'm just got back from a vacation, whatever those things are. So yeah, I just showed you the bare bones on how you can slice and dice the psychographics, sociographics, demographics that Facebook has on all this.
How would you get into all that he's asking about? You go into the part where you have all the drop downs and you just start surfing around being like,
Yeah, and if you're like a data nerd at all, you'll be there for 2 or 3 days. Just give yourself a half rack and chill out and just go to town. Cool, thank you guys.